The dark truth about power. Machiavelli. Power is taken, and once taken, it must be protected. From the very beginning, humans have chased power. Kings fought wars for it. Empires rose and collapsed because of it. Friendships were built on it and destroyed by it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't actually understand power. They confuse it with popularity. They think being liked means being strong. But history tells a very different story. Over 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli studied rulers, leaders, and human behavior. And what he discovered wasn't pretty. It was real. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Not because fear is good, but because fear is reliable. Let's break this illusion. Love feels powerful. It feels safe. It feels right. But love depends on emotions, and emotions are unstable. They change with time, with circumstances, with convenience. The same people who praise you today can ignore you tomorrow. The same people who support you can replace you, because most people don't stay loyal to you. They stay loyal to what you provide. Value changes, and so does loyalty. That's reality. And Machiavelli saw it clearly. He understood that if your power depends only on love, then your power is temporary. Because the moment you disappoint people, the moment you fail, the moment you stop giving, that love disappears. But fear doesn't disappear so easily. Fear creates consequences. Fear builds a system where actions have a price. It forces people to think before they act, before they betray, before they cross a line. And that's why fear, when used correctly, is stable. But here's where it gets dangerous. Because power built only on fear becomes tyranny, and tyranny creates rebellion. So no, Machiavelli wasn't telling you to become a villain. He was warning you that the world is not as innocent as it looks. That kindness alone is not a strategy. That being a good person doesn't guarantee protection. Power requires awareness. It requires understanding human nature. Not the version we wish was true, but the version that actually exists. People avoid pain. People chase benefit. People respect strength. And sometimes they only respect it when they fear losing something. So the real lesson isn't be feared. The real lesson is don't be naive. Don't build your life on approval. Don't depends on people. Those last. So learn the balance. Be someone people can trust, but not someone they can easily test. Be calm, but never weak. Be kind, but never easy to replace. Because, in the end, power doesn't belong to the loudest or the nicest. It belongs to the one who understands people the best. And once you understand that, you stop chasing attention, and you start controlling outcomes. That is the dark truth about power. That's why most people fail to understand power, because they don't want to accept this truth. It's uncomfortable. It challenges everything we've been taught. That being nice is enough. That being good will protect you. But look around. In the real world, people don't always reward kindness. They don't always respect honesty. Sometimes they exploit it. And that's where the illusion breaks. Power is not about what you feel. It's about what others perceive. Perception is everything. A person may not be the strongest, but if people believe they are, they hold power. A person may not be dangerous, but if people think they are, they gain control. This is the silent rule of the world, and Machiavelli understood it better than most. He knew that humans are emotional, but they respond to structure. They respect limits. They respect consequences. And without those, respect fades. That's why some leaders lose everything. Not because they were weak, but because they were too easy, too predictable, too dependent on approval. And slowly, they lost control. So ask yourself, are you building real influence, or just temporary validation? Because there's a difference. Validation feels good, but it disappears quickly. Influence feels quiet, but it lasts longer. Real power is silent. It doesn't need to prove itself. It doesn't need attention. It exists in how people act around you, in how they speak to you, in how they think before crossing you, and most importantly, in how they behave when you're not even in the room. That's real power. Not loud, not flashy, but undeniable. And once you reach that level, you don't chase respect anymore. It follows you. So don't just aim to be liked. Aim to be understood. Aim to be respected. And most of all, aim to never be underestimated. Because, in a world driven by perception, the moment people think you're weak, they stop respecting you. And once respect is gone, power doesn't last. That is the reality most people ignore.